Today on this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2019 Trek Remedy 9.7. This is a very cool all-mountain or enduro bike from Trek, and we're going to take a look at some of the features, go over the bike, and then of course we'll find out what it weighs. So to start off with, this bike, the 9.7, that indicates that this is a carbon frame. So this has Trek's OCLV mountain carbon, and that's going to allow for a really stiff but highly durable frame. And then the rear end of the bike on the 9.7 is actually going to be aluminum. So that's going to be nice and durable, not quite as light as carbon, but it does help keep some of the costs down and allow you to get this awesome carbon frame. Now the carbon frame, we'll go over some of the features. This actually has internal cable routing, so you'll see all of the cable routing goes through the inside of the bike. It's going to then have a press fit bottom bracket, and then on the rear end you'll notice that the lower link is actually fixed. So this used to be full floater on older Trek models, but because the rear shocks have become better and more capable, it's actually a fixed lower mount there, and it goes through Trek's ABP or active braking pivot rear suspension. Now it's boost 148 of course in the rear, and then it's just a very nice setup. One of the things that I like is it's adjustable higher low bottom bracket height, so that way you can adjust both the bottom bracket height, but then it also affects the head tube angle on the bike. Now on the frame, you'll notice you do have a water bottle cage boss on this straight shot down tube. The down tube is totally straight, and then you'll notice on the underside you actually have this carbon armor, this rubber armor that goes onto the carbon frame. But the thing that I think is most neat is underneath the top tube you'll actually notice that you've got two sets of bosses, and that's set up so that you'd be able to run frame bags as you see fit. Now one of the neat things, of course, to get that straight shot down tube is it runs knock block, and what that is that's a steering limiter to make sure that the fork crown does not come in contact with the down tube. And overall, I think this is a pretty cool frame set. Now on the 9.7, the 7 is going to be the lowest level of carbon fiber frames available, but you're going to be set up with the SRAM GX Eagle rear derailleur. It's going to have SRAM XG1230 1150 cassette, and then up front on the Dub Press Fit 92 crankset, you're going to have this descendant crank that's going to have a 32 tooth direct mount chainring. For the shock, of course, you've got RockShox's reactive Deluxe RT3 3-position, and then on the fork front, this is going to be set up with a RockShox Lyric RC with Debonair air spring and then a Charger 2 damper unit. Of course, it's 1.1 to 1.5 tapered steer tube, and then it goes to Bontrager's own 35mm line handlebar, line stem as well. Now this is going to be running a Bontrager dropper seat post with a 1X style lever, and then you're going to have a nice long range dropper seat post. In a 15-inch frame, this is 100mm, 17 and 18-inch frame, it's 125, and then 19.5 or 21.5, it's going to be 150 millimeters of dropper seat post travel. For brakes, you're running the SRAM Guide R brakes. This is a good hydraulic brake, works very well, and then it's going to be set up with a 200 millimeter rotor up front and a 180 millimeter rotor in the rear. Now checking out wheels, this is set up with Bontrager's own Line Comp 30 wheel. This is pretty nice. It's of course boost in the front and in the rear, but in the rear it's going to come through with 54 teeth of engagement, and for a very short change, and you can see this in another one of my videos, you can upgrade that to 108 teeth of engagement, which is just crazy on a bike like this. For tires, you've got the Bontrager XR4 Team Issue tire, and a tubeless 27.5 by 2.6. And the bike does come totally tubeless ready, so all you need is some sealant and you can get this thing set up. So now that we've taken a look at some of the features of the bike, let's go ahead and find out what it weighs. And the Remedy 9.7 and a 19.5 is going to come in and weigh 30.89 pounds. Well, thanks for watching this video on the Trek Remedy 9.7. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and while you're at it, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video.